Yo, what is happening everyone? It's your favorite boo boo butt BP head main here. Today I have a video that I feel like would help guide a lot of newer pyramid heads slash killer mains out there. And this is my top 10 tips and tricks for pyramid head. And this whole list will be in no particular order at all, as all the tips in this video are equally as good in their own rights. If you want a more in-depth guide on how to play Pyramid Head, I already made a video on that, so make sure to go watch that after watching this video. Another thing I would like to say is that all the tips in this video are mostly going to be kind of short, as I'm just going to be going over everything very briefly and very quickly. So if you would like to watch my Pyramid Head gameplay live, you can also find me on the Purple app with the link in the description below. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Tip number 1 is going to be strafing. Strafing is a technique where you drag your camera from side to side while dragging your power. The reason you would want to do this is so that you can fake the survivor out as much as possible. It's overall very effective at making your opponents always guess if you're going to fire your power in a certain direction or not. Another reason why this works so well is because from the survivor POV, they will always try to dodge your red stain. Tip number 2, use your power as much as possible. Now, I know this may seem very discouraging at first, but you're going to miss with your power, and you're also going to get W keyed on a lot. But this is also just part of the process of learning him, as even some of the best pyramid heads miss from time to time. I would recommend that you play in a custom match with a friend and practice 1v1ing each other to get the hang of his power. Over time, you will learn how to survive his path, and hitting shots with your power will come more naturally. Tip number 3, DS countering. One of the main ways I personally like to counter decisive strike is if I ever expect the survivor to have it, I will place my torment down right next to the survivor. That way they are forced to step into it no matter what. Even if they do decide to go for a pallet stun, at least you can get some sort of value when picking up. The same thing also goes for flashlight saves and locker grabs as well too. Tip number 4, double hits. Pyramid Head has the ability to shoot through multiple survivors at once. And one of the main ways he takes advantage of that is by getting double hits off the cage. A big benefit to this is that you don't have to worry about DS or off the record. The same thing also kind of works for unhooks as well. However, in this instant, the survivor will still get the endurance off the hook. In comparison to the cage, they do not. Tip number 5, taking advantage of hitboxes. There are many ways to take advantage of Pyramid Head's punishment of the damned. One of my favorite ways is to go for pipe shots on Gideon. But you can also manipulate your power in ways that your average survivor may not expect. So be sure to get creative with it, and you'll see what all the types of things Pyramid Head can do with his power. Tip number 6, patience is key. There's going to be sneaky little tricks that survivors will do to fake out your power. One of the most common of them all is faking vaults. An easy way to tell if a survivor is going to vault or not is by looking at their item. If their item disappears, that means that they have committed to an action and it cannot be undone. So always just waiting a few extra seconds does pay off a lot. Also watch out for a fake pallet drop as well. Survivors will tend to do a subtle yet very effective movement to make you fire your power. So make sure you're on the lookout for this. Tip number 7, getting stun hits. This kind of plays back into the whole being patient with pallet fakes. But did you know you can actually hit a survivor while in the middle of a stun animation? This does take very precise timing to do, and it's not always guaranteed you'll pull it off. If you ever expect the survivor to be in the area of a head-on stun in front of a locker, you can always fire your power the moment they exit the locker. This is very situational, but it is possible to pull off. Tip number 8, torment placement. There are certain areas Pyramid Head cannot place down his power. So if you try to place down your power next to a survivor objective area, your torment will disappear. So it will disappear by generators, exit gates, hooks, and it will even vanish in the basement as well. But your torment will not disappear immediately if it is near a chest or even by totems, as your torment stays on the ground for roughly 70 seconds at base kit, but this can also be increased by add-ons as well. Tip number 9, shack counter. If you're ever in the scenario where a survivor tries to outplay you by using the basement stairs while you try to fire your power from the opposite side of the shack, you can always pretend to commit to the survivor by firing your power. Once then, immediately place down your power behind a wall while breaking line of sight. Then release your knife from the ground, all in the process while hiding your red stain, and then vault the window. Now, I know this seems complicated, but it's not, I promise. This is kind of what it looks like from the survivor POV if you want to get a better perspective of what to do. The whole point of this is to make the survivor think they're safe by using the shack basement and then quickly vaulting afterwards to get a free hit. Tip number 10, torment through survivors. If you ever get a survivor that takes a little too long to make their pizza rolls, or if they just decide to throw the game by standing still, what you can do is melee attack or special attack them, and then immediately place your torment through them to get a free torment. Now, I know this may not seem very useful, but you never know in case you're not in proximity of a hook. Again, very situational, but always free information. If you try and place your torment through them without injuring them, then this will not work. So make sure you always injure them before doing so, if you have the opportunity to do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this small little tips video. Take care, everybody.